Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Train Man, and welcome to the weekly timetable for the week of November 9th, 2014. It is 2 short days until the Master Chief Collection comes out, and then you won't hear from me for a little while. I'm kidding. I've got other things to do, and videos are kind of high on my priorities list to keep you guys happy. But because videos are so high on my priorities list, I've kind of crammed some things in, including the video for tomorrow. So I'm going to make this a little quicker than I normally do. Let's go. On Monday, we had Simulation Protocol Overload Episode 5, Attack of the Comcast, which really should have been what last episode was named, because this episode finally everyone gets in time. But the previous episode had to be called Little Pimpin', so we pushed Attack of the Comcast to this episode. Either way, it's the end of our saga in the current area, a two-part saga, and involves some screw-ups and some things that we definitely left behind, some areas that could have been a little bit more explored, but we've got other things to move on to. However, you're standing there like that, and it makes it very...
If I was a jerk, I would make a fake snow trap at the bridge, but you know me.
Why, well, I wouldn't... See,
what, you can just avoid the snow?
You can.
Ah!
Yes,
that was not the snow. that was me being an idiot. That was me being an idiot and walking off the side of the bridge.
On Tuesday, we had Train Man Plays Chris Soares Locomotion, episode 155, right? 54. Replacements. Now, what we were replacing is the old oil system, among other things. Finally upgrading that son of a gun and getting a little bit more capacity out of it, which is very, very good. And it spurs our efforts to build a new yard there, yada yada yada. But speaking of yards, our other one hasn't gotten any better, and it's just terrible. There's really nothing to report there. They're all idiots. They are. You're all friggin' idiots. You know that? Even this train coming in figured it out. Not as elegantly as he could have, but he avoided the other trains and managed to get himself to his spot. You're all idiots. On Wednesday, we had War Thunder Episode 32, What is with this game? Partially entitled that because I actually kill some things. You guys will see. More bombing, more fighting, good killing. I tend to only include the episodes where I get at least one kill, depending on how I get that kill, or of course if I don't have enough of those, you're not going to get them, but I try. So there's a lot of flying and things and entertainment, I would hope. And there's 3 battles crammed into there, so they're each pretty succinct. And I'm still working towards that F7F. I'll get there eventually.
Whoa, Milky!
Let's go. Oh my god, I'm getting aircraft destroyer, yes.
Too.
Whoa, a little bit of lag.
I hate Russian planes.
I love Russian planes.
On Thursday, with the Zombie Train episode 96, The First of the Buildings. Now, the first of the buildings is represented by things in Arturo, and the Alpha is out there, and people are telling me things, regarding, TARDIS Pass and things like that. I know that my grades are horrible, and they're going to get easier, generally, towards the north end of the map, but one of the things I do need to fix, of course, is the El Dorado Canyon. We have that on the timetable, sort of. Temeral's Yard, of course, is pretty bad. But Arturo is probably one of the nicest places that just doesn't have the engine facilities that it needs. So, and needs is a term that I'm kind of throwing out there. I'm not sure if it really is going to need them. Because what you're going to get, things running to Arturo are most likely going to be turns from Temeros, engines coming out of the roundhouse running to Arturo, swapping out fulls for empties, vice versa, and heading back up. You will probably have some traffic, nothing turning around there, but everything through Arturo is probably going to have to be scheduled from Temeros because the grade on the other side is pretty prohibitive. Of course, I've probably got to put a water tower in somewhere. That does occur to me. But, I don't think Yeah, no, it doesn't have... It won't have any sort of engine sheds or roundhouses. It might have just a siding for an engine. So we've got a gas station there. On Friday, we had Train Man's Fever Episode 11, The Long and Winding Road. Could have also been entitled The Impossible Railway Part 2, because that's pretty much exactly what we build. It doesn't get used, but I built it pretty much for the sake of building it. And once again, it's really just a competition of how fast can I produce money to keep up with my stupidly large and quick and, whatever, building schedule. So yeah, that's that. This is the level that our city's at. Of course, it doesn't want to make a curve yet, because... it doesn't have anything attached to it. Tetbury. Where would you put a station in Tetbury? On Saturday, we had Space Engineers Episode 15 painting, because we paint. We actually figured out how to paint. The middle mouse button, holy cow, like blowing my mind over here. And everyone else knows how to paint too, so of course chaos ensues, because that's what happens in Space Engineers. Also, we talk about Ebola zombies.
Research.
No. We shouldn't. We should not get it at all. I don't care about the whole. I don't care about the competition for resources thing. There won't need to be a competition for resources if we don't get it in the first place.
Let's go get Ebola.
Yeah, let's go get Ebola.
Said nobody ever.
Said everyone ever.
I'm actually really scared.
Don't be. Unless you're, coming in contact with the bodily fluids of someone who's had it. For example, if they bite you.
Then I'm fucked.
Yeah. Like a zombie, perhaps. Moving on to the videos of the week. Now, I have a definite number one candidate, but the other two have to be talked about as well. First one I should probably talk about is the first one in the list. That's the Wright Brothers' First Flight, 1903. That's what it's entitled. That's not what it is. It's not... I'm pretty sure it's not the original Wright Flyer. I'm not the expert on history here, but I was reading through some of the comments from its source, not from YouTube, from Reddit. And it's not the original Wright Flyer, and the French means that it wasn't, it wasn't the original one, but it's still pretty cool because it's one of the first manned powered flights in human history, which is not something that a lot of things can lay claim to. Putting aside all the controversy regarding who really flew first. Second one is the Ohio State Marching Band, Go Buckeyes. Of course, the only reason I root for them is because of their marching band, and their marching band put on a science fiction halftime show. I mean, they spent a lot of it on Star Trek, but they did the Star Trek music really well. And that's saying something, especially for these guys who do pretty much everything really well. And their arrangements never leave anything to be desired, at least normally. And it's pretty fantastic. It makes me wonder how they churn out this stuff so often, when it probably takes so long to rehearse. I'm imagining the training process and the getting into the band, whatever it's called. The auditions must be really, really rigorous, or else, you wouldn't get in. You wouldn't have amazing stuff like this. I'm assuming this is all under one director, too, because if they were to change directors, I mean, you've got this precedent, but I'm not sure every director would put that much effort in. But moving on to the final thing I have to talk about, that is the Canada and United States Bizarre Borders Part 2. Bizarre Borders Part 2 is just its own thing. This is Part 2 of Bizarre Borders. Bizarre Borders Part 1 is a different thing. It has Pac-Man in it, etc. It's by CGP Grey, which you probably have heard of. The video has a considerable number of views, although it's not, everyman status just yet. But it's very, very interesting, and the dude himself is very cool and writes a lot of videos about stuff that's very relevant and very interesting. For example, Bizarre Borders, where they talk about the no-touching zone between Canada and the United States, where they cleared a forested path between the two countries, which stretches the entire length of the border, and that's pretty incredible. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Trainman out.